When was the last time you thought about what your family stands for? That is what we will be talking about today on the Journey Out podcast. We are so excited to have you all back. And I know y'all can see we are new and improved today. So we're excited to have y'all. Let's jump in.
What is home care?
How do I navigate healthcare?
What do I do when I feel down and depressed?
I'm stressed.
Am I enough?
What can I do?
What is this going to cost?
Happy New Year, family. We are so excited to be here today.
Yes.
As you can see, we are in a new spot, new digs, new year, new spot, right? So, we're...
New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a blessing.
It is. It's a blessing, and so we're just chilling. You look nice today in your
you
Jesus
look nice
saves,
in your Jesus saves, yes.
We're always twinning.
Yeah.
But I know one of the big things I said in the intro was, when was the last time you thought about what your family stands for? And so today we want to talk about family values, what they are and why they matter.
Okay.
And so I'm going to pose that question to you. When was the last time you thought about what our family stands for?
Really daily. When you wake up in the morning, well, when I wake up in the morning, right? I'm a child of God. I'm a husband. I'm a father, I'm a grandparent, and I'm also a business owner, right? As I leave the house, I have to be the best representation of my family.
Right, yeah.
So my values play a key part in doing so.
Right.
My foundation of my values and what I do and why I do what I do is first of all God. Second is that commandment, love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right.
Treat people how you would want to be treated. So as I go by my day, every day, I try to say, okay, hey, am I representing God in the right way?
Right.
Am I representing my family in the right way?
Right.
And am I representing my business in the right way?
Right.
And all those come from the value of treating people how you want to be treated.
Right. I think it's daily for me too. Like when I think about it daily because that's just our walk.
Right.
I think really what solidified it for me, like what our family stood for. We had like a little situation last year around July time, and we ended up getting, well, not us, but one of my grandmother ended up getting custody of my cousin.
Yes.
And she brand spanking new baby. And not only did she get custody of the baby, but she had to find a new home.
Right.
She moved in with us.
Right.
But not only did she move in with us, the baby moved in with us, and our great grandmother moved in with us.
She moved back in with us.
Moved back in with us. Yeah. And so now we're a family of 7 in the house, and we're like, we have to move. We got to go. And I think for me, that whole little situation really helped me understand how we do put family first. Like one of our values is family first, love. Like when we say love, we're not playing.
Right.
We switched up our whole life. For family.
Right.
Family first. So our whole life changed in a matter of like literally a month.
Yes.
From moving to like everybody just jumping in the house together, and we just making best do with best do. You know?
And it's beautiful, right?
Right.
It's kind of like you wouldn't have it no other way.
Right.
Hey, my family needs me, so guess what? I'm gonna be there with my family.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that we're in a position to love on our family members,
exactly.
right? And be there for our family members.
And make changes to accommodate, everybody. So
that's great.
Yeah, and so that was one of the moments to me that just really stood out. Like, we actually living this out. Like, we are living out one of the values that we hold close, family first. And to be honest, I don't even think that was a value that we just sat down and talked about. Kind of like what we'll kind of talk about later on. But we never really sat down and just talked about that.
Right.
It's just something that we knew, right?
That had to be done.
And we always just on one accord, like, listen, this is family. We have to step. So I think just overall, I want to paint a picture of what values are, because values and morals are kind of similar, right?
Yes.
People kind of think of them the same, but values are things that are usually held traditionally within a family. Of course, there's high moral standards and disciplines that come with that, but I do know, like, as far as more moral situations are things that society kind of deems
as norm and dictates.
Right, kind of dictates as normal.
So values are individuals' personal beliefs and principles, with morals or societal norms that dictate what's right and what's wrong.
Right. Okay. So values are just more independent, and values typically can change over time. And so, with that, and I know one thing that's big for us, faith, and we talked about family.
Right.
So how did faith and family first come to be something that we cared about?
Well, it goes from, I guess, as you grow up, right?
Yeah.
It goes from what your parents believe in, what your grandparents believe in, what their parents believed in, right? So my family was big on God.
Yeah.
On Jesus Christ, right?
Yeah.
Being the Savior. And so that's how I was raised.
Right.
Going to church, right? Grandmother singing in the choir.
Right.
My mother directing the choir. You know what I'm saying? My dad was an usher in the church, right? So we was born in the church, right? Those values, right? So people have, I throw this word out there, traditions.
Right.
So traditions, right? You do certain things on Christmas, on Thanksgiving, right? It's the white elephant gift or something like that.
Right.
So as growing up, my parents instilled in me a faith-based connection with God, right? And Jesus Christ. So as I went through certain things, I picked up from a family.
Yeah, experiences.
And then life experience happened.
Yeah.
Through those life experiences, it was more of, hey, how I'm going to maneuver in this situation.
Right.
What was the result in this situation? How did it affect me, and how did it affect my family?
Right. And I can get down with that because to be honest, people have different ways that they view things. People have different ways that they deal with things. And so when you're talking about value, like, let's just go back to like the family first value that I was talking about for us. So an off rip, I'm a empathetic and sweet person.
You are?
But also there's that side where I'm like, okay, if this doesn't affect me, I'm not moving. Right. So like this ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm over here, this is over there, right? But and with the situation where we took in my grandmother, again, that wasn't something that had anything to do with me, right? But as a whole, we like, no, this affects me. Taking care of her, putting her in a position to thrive, not letting her go to state, all these different things, that affects me because this is my loved one, right? And so that's something that was actually learned because I'm not there. Again, if it don't got nothing to do with me, I'm not stepping. But it's something that's learned because I've seen that from you. I've seen that from mom. I've seen that from my grandma. I've seen that, right? And so that's now a value that I hold too. Like, it might not have nothing to do with me, but it affects this person, it affects my family. So now I need to step in, right? And so with that, I think it's the same way. Like, we know about God, we love God because that's been passed down. But I know God and I love God also because of what He's done for me in my situations and in my life, right? Like, it's my experience with it. Because if He's never done anything, or if I've never seen Him move, I don't know.
And that's where we go to talk about those life experiences, right? So even though you have family values, life be life.
It changes, it evolves, it brings new values and thoughts to your mind.
So with the family experience, right? With the family values, right? You learn that as a young child. You grow up with it, but you really don't have no life experience.
Exactly.
So then when life start lifing, where are those family values? Do you hold on to them? Do they shape you? Do they help you through that decision that you need to make?
Right.
So that's
So, and that's part of why they matter.
Yes.
And so, we were gonna get into that, but also I wanted to kind of give like a real life, because we're talking about like our experience, and of course, I mean we're talking to it with you all about it right now, but otherwise you wouldn't know unless you kind of see it. So I want to kind of give like a real life example, and my real life example is going to be like David and Barbara Green. So most people probably don't know that name, David and Barbara Green, but they are the owners of Hobby Lobby.
okay.
Hobby Lobby is a faith-based Christian home decor and everything you need really kind of company.
Yes.
It is a Christian organization, and because they are a Christian organization, to date they have given over $500 million to evangelical ministries.
Okay.
Right. So Mr. David, he has a book. I've listened to his book on audio a million times. It's just a bunch of motivation, just really as a business owner. But well, Mr. David, I believe, if not him, but he was a pastor, or if his dad or somebody kind of was a pastor, and it kind of just led their family into believing in God, believing in Christ, and becoming Christians. And so he did that for his family, and then he had kids, and his kids, of course, are Christians. But then they built this billion-dollar company, Hobby Lobby, based off of Christian values.
Wow.
Right? They instituted no work on Sundays, all of these different things. Okay, so now we're talking about his son, Mark Green. Mark then opens up Mardale, and Mardale is a Christian and education company that sells journals and spirals and Bibles and all the different things. And so the value that they held close was religion. And you see it in their everyday walk. You see it in their companies. You see it in how they branched out. You see it in their kids. Like, again, the kids didn't have to start that, right? But it's a value that they held close. And so the son opened up his own Christian company, and it's just one of those real life things, like, of how values really take shape whether you know it or not. It's important to kind of figure out what your family stands for, so that way you guys are creating a legacy that outlives you, just like David and Barbara.
Well, that's great example. I'm gonna talk more on the home front with me. A little personal, but I didn't know really what I stood for as a man. I dealt with maybe a little, I say, depression, not knowing where did I want to go in life, and what I wanted to provide for my family, but I didn't know how.
Right.
You know, so this goes back to experience, right? And values being tested. So I know I believed in God.
Yeah.
And I knew that, hey, it's something for me out there. But I was going through a point to where it was just like, I'm angry. I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
What do I need to do? You know? Fast forward. I had an experience to where it was my aha moment. And that experience was, I was down to my lowest.
Yeah.
To where I was up nights at a time, weeks at a time, while everybody was asleep, trying to figure out what I needed to do to better myself and my family.
Yeah.
God came through, because
as he does,
I didn't know what my passion was until he revealed to me what my passion was.
Yeah.
And it was loving people.
Yeah.
It was taking care of people.
Yeah.
Being there for people, treating people how I would want to be treated, right? And also with my grandmother, right? When she moved in with us, that intensified my passion.
Yeah.
Right? So going back to values, what you stand for, and life experiences, my faith in God.
Yeah.
As a young child, I knew about God.
Right.
But I had to experience him for myself.
Right.
You know? And that story about Hobby Lobby. So now, here we are, right? We own PC Home Health.
Yeah.
We own Caring Covenant, the residential home. We got a nonprofit, the Community of Neighbors, right?
Yeah.
And we have beautiful partnerships in the community.
Yeah.
We serve people in our community. And then, look, I have my 27-year-old daughter right here alongside. She could be doing anything else she want to do.
Right.
But she's here serving others.
Right, because okay, so what you're talking about is one of the first reasons of why values matter.
Right.
It shapes family identity.
Right.
Like that's what you're talking about. So again, me being me, I'm like, this ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm over here in my box. But because I have seen and experienced how you loving others and how, because I've experienced that, it now shapes who I am. And because it shapes who I am, now we're in a space where our family can pour into other people, but it shapes who we are. And I think anybody who meets us, they know how we get down because we move as, as one. But it creates a sense of unity and purpose, kind of along with what you were saying. We prioritize going the extra mile, going above and beyond. We prioritize loving people. We prioritize family, and it's not family just with us blood, because if anybody, I promise you, y'all, if y'all have met us, just, I don't know where this is gonna go on YouTube, wherever this is going, put it in the chat if you have met us. How many times have we said, you family? You family now. And we treat you just as such. Like, you really become family for us. So it's not no I don't know, it's not one-sided. Like, we prioritize family, and once you family, you family, and we're gonna love you, we're gonna take care of you, we're gonna try our very best to uplift and honor you in a way that, and be there for you. Yeah, that really shows that we care about you, right? And so I think that's the very number one reason as to why values matter, is because it shapes family identity, and we know who we are because of what we hold to be true for ourselves. And so I think that's super important. The other thing I feel like it does, and why it matters, is it improves family dynamics. And I feel like we can speak to this like 100% more, because father to daughter, I don't know many people. I don't know many people who could literally like work with their parents on a day-to-day basis. I literally work with you 365 days out of a year, Sunday through Saturday, 6 a.m. whatever time, like literally we're together, we're working. I think it just builds mutual respect. That's first and foremost. Like, outside of you being my father, outside of you being the boss of these companies and me working under you, like, it builds mutual respect, cooperation, and it builds the love too, because I know you deeper because of the values that you hold. You get what I'm saying? And so it's like a different type of love and appreciation, because I know who you are as a person. You get what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
All right, so you're gonna go there with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get emotional on this new episode.
Well, I don't know really how to answer that, but I love you.
Oh, love you too.
Yes, when you came aboard and helping me, which I needed, thank God. I needed your brain, I needed your wisdom, I needed your heart. And with you coming aboard and helping me, right? It was times when you was like, hey, let's go, let's do this, let's do this. Yeah. And I was like, hey, hold on, just hold down. And she will get upset about, no, Dad, we need to do this, we need to do this. Go. And I'm like, listen, I just need you to do this. Just calm down. Yeah. But as you start working, as we start growing, I would see moments in your eyes when you'll come and talk to me and you'll say, oh, Dad, I can't believe this happened. And so I was like, okay, she there. I remember when I was at that place. Yeah. So seeing you grow and seeing you evolve as a young, mature woman, right? As a business owner and as a beautiful young lady, right? And both of my girls are. Anaya, she helps with the business the same way. Matter of fact, she's trying to do her own thing and own her own business. My wife, she helps out in the business. Man, it's beautiful, right? It's beautiful. It's a beautiful family dynamic. Now, do it get rough? Yeah, it get rough.
There's nothing perfect, right. But even to that extent, you know what I'm saying? And not that I forgot, like, but literally talking about shaping the family identity, talking about family dynamics, the values that you hold close, from family first, from, God, from like everything, even us being self-starters, because I feel like that's a big one for us. My brother owns
Yes.
his own company.
Whew.
Anaya
Yes.
is in school to own her own
Right.
company. We have 3 that we're currently working on right now.
Yes.
And it's all stemming from that value of being self-starters. You know, hey, go out there and get it, make a difference.
Right.
And even to this day, like my brother and my dad get in trouble. Because when we talk about givers, they're givers. Another value. My brother, my brother.
Love you, bud.
We love you. My brother, he does like work,
Construction.
like drop berries,
yeah,
like
drop
all
berries.
those type of things. So he does that for like AT&T, all these companies,
Right.
and he's like in different states. And so that means he has a lot of employees. And when I tell you, he will give his last dime. The man will go broke giving to his employees, giving to whoever needs it. And that's literally because of what he's seen. I remember this. I know you probably do too. He said he was in Kansas. He was going to school. He met his wife there. He came back they moved back to Dallas. And one thing he says, you know, I started my company because you did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was what he said.
Right. And you don't know.
You don't know.
Values play a part in a family's life, and it's you don't know that it's playing a part.
Right.
So
right.
kids pick up on things, and you know, parents aren't perfect, but kids hold on to what their parents say.
Yeah.
People have role models, of course, right? But the biggest role models, perfect or imperfect, is the parents. It's the people in those houses that are grooming those kids. And listen, I didn't know. You know, it's no how-to book on raising kids, right? We do it to the best of our abilities. But I am blessed to be in the position that I am now and have my daughter right here working day to day with me. Have my son owning his own business, and have my younger daughter working to own her own.
To do hers, yeah.
So thank God I got something right. And I still, she's telling me something that I didn't know as far as how she looked at it as far as values. So, So honestly, we didn't know we was gonna have this conversation.
Yeah.
But this is perfect. It's going right along with it.
And I think also another reason that values matter, because you talked about it too, like decision making and overcoming challenges.
Yeah.
Like values really act as, I don't even know, like maybe a compass.
Yes.
During times of hardship or like those hard times. So like if you hold something to be true to yourself, when those times come up, you're going to lean on those values. You're going to lean in with that, because if I'm saying I'm a Christian and that's one value that I hold true to myself, if you a Christian, you're going to act like a Christian even when times are hard.
So being a Christian, when the wind blows and the storm comes, or you're going to be like a tree and stand 10 toes with your roots deep and dug into the ground, having faith in your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that he will provide, even when it don't look like it.
Right.
Or will you be like the tree that's not firmly planted in the ground, and be like those leaves blowing in the wind, going whichever direction that the wind blows? Right. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that if it just shapes your decision making. So even when it comes to business, all of our decisions, when we're literally every decision that we're making in our businesses is, are we helping people? Are we loving people? Are we serving people? And are we doing it with the truest heart, with the purest heart? And that's always something that we think about. So any decision that we make is built off those values, because you can have a business. Right. You can believe I got to get rich quick. I got to do what I got to do. I got to step on toes. If I got to get to where I got to go, I got to do what I got to do. You can think that, and that's how you going to solve your problems. And it's not going to work. It will not work that way. Yeah. So it's really what you hold dear to yourself, and how you going to move. Yes. You know? And then lastly, why it matters is legacy for future generations. We talked about that pretty much already, just looking at, like I said, Hobby Lobby, us and our family. But it's just a lasting impact that he has on children. And I think about my niece, I think about my nephew, and I even think about my cousin that we just got custody of. I'm gonna say they because we got a little boy in there. They are around entrepreneurs that love and do it right. You know what I'm saying? And that's not no brag or nothing. That's like a humble, like God is doing his thing. Like we're trying to do it right each and every way. And so just think about what they're going to grow up listening to or hearing or seeing and experiencing, which would then shape how they think and the values that they will hold close to themselves.
And will also shape generations to come.
Exactly. Yes. So their kids, right?
Their kids, yes.
And so on and so on. So I think that's just kind of tells you a little bit of why values are super important. And what we want you guys to do, like from this episode moving forward, is really identify and cultivate family values for you and your family. The first way y'all can do that is self-reflection and assessment. So really going in there and saying, hey, what matters to me? What matters to you? Get your mom, get your brother, get your sister, everybody who is like a part of this family dynamic, get everybody, what matters to y'all? And then assess, okay, what can we do? What principles guide our family's decisions? What principles guide how we move on a day-to-day basis? The next thing is crafting a family mission statement. Now, that's something we need to do for 2025. Now that we're here, we need to craft a family mission statement. So each family member needs to list their top 3 values, discuss and prioritize as a group, like which values really hold close for everybody, what is something that's common that you see as a thread throughout the family, and then draft a nice mission statement of what your family would stand for. Maybe it's our family believes in God and we will forgive, love, and be servants, whatever it is, but just lay it out.
And what that does when you're doing those mission statements, right? That kind of helps you plan for your year, right? That kind of helps you plan to see, hey, where are we going with our family, with this household, or with the family as a whole? How do we want to move? So I think another good thing to do with that is also make sure we have meetings.
Family meetings,
right? To talk about financial literacy, health literacy, and those values and how to move forward, right? So I think that's a great thing.
And then once y'all do that, you can't just leave it there. Like you can't leave it there. You have to live it out. You gotta walk it. You gotta walk it. You talking it, you gotta walk it. So y'all need to model these behaviors in your families. If it's forgiveness, say for instance, one of the big values for your family that y'all want to have is forgiveness. If there's a disagreement that come up, you have to be the first one to say, hey, I forgive you, I love you, I appreciate you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it for whatever that. Talk it out.
Whatever that is, right? And doing it together. You know, family, you know, we get on each other's nerves, just to be honest, because we're around each other more than anybody else, right? But it seems like we find it hard to forgive, or hard to partner, or hard to let go of stuff, right? Sit down and talk about it. Start 2025. Matter of fact, start it off right now. Start 2025 off right. Again, mission statement for the family. Goals for the family, right? Talk about financial stuff, right? Where do you want to be? Set those short-term goals to have long-term goals. Talk about health literacy, right? Like we talked about in other podcasts. Talk about your values, right? And how those will get you to get to the point of 2026. Hey, we're in a different spot than where we are.
Where we were in 2025, and that's the thing. And then that's the.
And I'm gonna say this: everybody have their own beliefs, but put God first. Put God first above all that, and all things will happen. And
you'll see the difference. But what you're talking about is a family evolving together, and that's the thing. So you also, but we've said it a bunch of times, but just know values do not stay the same because experiences and things change. And then again, he said everybody has different beliefs, right? You might say, hey, I might want to start believing in God. Your life looks completely different. Your values change. Everything looks different, right? So nothing stays the same. But just know that as a family, you guys will evolve. And with you guys evolving, it's not going to look the same. It's not going to feel the same. But everybody has to be on that positive, just trajectory. Like
Right.
everybody got to go the same way in order
Right.
for a family to be one accord.
One accord.
One accord. So I just hope that what we discussed today was just
Wow.
valuable. I hope you guys understand the importance of values, but also how just to pinpoint little values that kind of just are reoccurring themes in you all's lives and in your family's
Right.
lives. Just take some time to sit down with your family and
love
discuss
on 'em.
what
And
you
yeah,
all
and love on
stand
'em,
for.
yes.
Just love on them.
Love on them and discuss.
Figure out what you stand
Yeah.
for, and then kind of just revolutionize your life from just sitting down and talking about what you hold true to be to yourself, right?
Right.
And for your family. I mean, family values don't just define us; they connect us, they inspire us, and they guide us through life. And so you wouldn't want to do that with anybody else but your family.
Yes.
So being able to just kind of cultivate that together, bring your whole family together and kind of figure out what those values are is just super important. So I hope that helps you and your family this 2025 year. It's a new year.
Yes.
And things are going to look different. You're going to grow. We're going to grow. And I'm excited for all that we have to give y'all this year.
Ooh,
It's
quite
a lot.
bit. It's quite a bit.
It's quite a bit, but we're excited. And so we just hope that this has encouraged y'all. We hope that it's blessed y'all. And any last words you want to say, Pop?
I just hope this, we was a resource to you and your family.
Yeah.
So now, since you got this knowledge, take it to your family to be that resource, and then take it to your community.
Yeah.
All right?
Yep. All right. Like us. YouTube, we got it on Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe, send it
Facebook.
out to your fam.
Yes.
Send it out. Let them know. Share it. That's what's super important. You always can support the show. Always. We'll make sure we have the information in the for you guys to support. But we love you guys. Y'all have a blessed one, and we'll see y'all next time.
2025, we out.
We out.